This is Dr. Gossett, and I'm here with Jim Sinclair. Hi, Jim.
Hi.
I want to talk with you a little bit about your care here. Now, Jim is a retired professor from the University of Illinois. And Jim, share with us what's your age?
Oh, I'm 85, no problem.
So, 85 years old. Many of our patients are older and are concerned, should I bother getting care? What would you say to that?
Oh, yes, by no means, yes, no means, yes.
Okay. I understand you have family that lives into the 90s, and that's one of your primary reasons you wanted to come in for care.
Well, I thought if I'm going to live into my 90s, I certainly want a life that keeps me active and going. I don't want to be infirmed and laying in a bed somewhere.
So you were looking for a high quality of life as long as possible.
Right.
Okay. Now you came in with what diagnosis?
I was diagnosed at the clinic with peripheral neuropathy.
Okay.
I had chronic pain in my right ankle that I've lived with for 10 or 20 years. And then I was feeling sort of tied up. My muscles were always tight. I couldn't relax.
Okay.
And I saw your ad on the television that you would help with peripheral neuropathy, and I called and made an appointment, and the rest is history.
Okay. Okay. Well, let's go a little bit into some of the other symptoms you were having. Were you having problems with balance and, for instance, were you needing to use a cane or anything like that?
Oh, yes. Balance was another problem. I've been using a cane now probably over 2 years.
Okay.
Because everywhere, when I walked outside, I went to meetings at home, that cane was my sort of my crutch in a sense.
Okay. So you were dependent on that.
Yes.
Now, also, you were having problems with, if I remember correctly, endurance, standing for long periods of time.
Yes.
Walking, shopping.
Yes. This was a big problem. I used to give tours at the local museum, and I could walk through the museum, go through all the galleries with guests without any problems. Finally, I had to give that all up because I couldn't walk that far, and I had the pain in my ankle, and I couldn't walk more than a block when I went outside. So I was beginning to feel like, what's in the future for me?
And you also have a social life. You like to go to
Oh, yes.
what?
I'm very active. I have a Rotary Club. I'm involved in the Village of Savoy, involved in 2 museums. I'm a very active person, and to feel like this, my physical being is going to restrict my social activities really was kind of scary.
Okay. Yes, and I think a lot of people have that same experience, that they're losing their activity level, and they're really concerned about that. Okay, let's move on. So, how long have you been treating here for peripheral neuropathy?
Well, I saw your ad on television, and it was the only one that I ever saw that said you could treat peripheral neuropathy.
Okay.
So about 4 months ago, I came and had a conference with you,
Yes.
and it lasted an hour, or more than an hour.
Yes.
And we diagnosed my various problems, and then I just asked you, can you do anything about it?
Okay.
And you said yes.
Right.
So we proceeded to set up the schedule, and now in my 4th month, I feel like I've made a lot of improvement.
What types of things have you noticed? Is your balance a little bit better?
Oh, yes.
Are you using your cane as much?
No, interestingly enough, I don't use my cane at home when I'm walking around the house at all anymore.
Really?
I used to have this chronic pain in my right ankle,
Yes.
and before I'd go to bed at night, I would have to walk around the house for several minutes to loosen up that problem before I could go to bed. Otherwise, the pain would keep me awake most of the night.
Okay.
And then other problems was walking outside. I'd go outside to get my newspaper, I'd have to use my cane.
Right.
I don't do that anymore. And I can walk around here at the clinic from station to station without my cane. When I first came here, I had to use the cane. So I see a lot of improvement in my mobility, both at home and in going to concerts, going to the museum, my Rotary Club, and other activities. It's kept me going.
That's wonderful. That's wonderful. I remember you mentioning that initially your feet felt like two boards.
Oh, yes.
They
Oh,
were very stiff and sore.
yes. I was beginning to, in peripheral neuropathy, you start losing feeling in your feet.
Yes.
And I had areas in both feet where I couldn't feel anymore. It was beginning to, and this scared me because I knew what it meant. And
What did
so,
it mean? What did it mean to you?
well, it meant that this would progress and I would be to a point where I couldn't, well, I would have to have special care, and I envisioned ending up in a wheelchair,
Exactly.
which is, I didn't want any of this.
Okay.
And since these treatments, my feeling has come back in both feet, and into my leg. I don't have the chronic pain in my legs.
Mm-hmm.
You've done a wonder for me.
Well, thank you. Thank you. That's very encouraging. Now, looking at the investment of time, energy, and money, would you recommend other people to consider this care?
I think I told you before, the money I've spent for this care is worth every penny that I spent, because I have so much improvement and been able to do so many more things that I looked like I would never be able to do before. I thank you so much for what you've done for me.
And I have to thank you for trusting me to help you with this problem. And I'm very grateful that you've responded the way you have.